Okay. And we're good to go. All right, guys. So let me just put myself over here. Got the chat over here. Candace, what was the question? Oh, the question is, why did you sign up for the webinar tonight? So just as you guys are getting acclimated and situated, you want to type in the chat box kind of while you're here. That would be awesome. All right, so we are going to get started. I am so excited to be here with you guys tonight for this webinar, and thank you just to start off by giving me your time. I know everybody is busy and everybody has stuff going on, so I am so grateful that you're taking this time tonight to be here with me. We are, again, talking about cravings, and for those of you who don't know me, my name's Athena Concannon. I'm the owner and founder of Achieve with Athena. I will tell you a little bit more about me in just a little bit, but first, I want to give you guys a little bit of background on why I created this training for tonight. I think it's a really hot topic. It's something I hear about all the time, cravings, snacking. You know, I'm looking in the chat box right now, and Annie, I think, Annie Jean, you know, you're saying you're in the habit of eating so much junk food lately, you want to stop. Jen, looking for ways to deal with cravings, being able to stop when you've started indulging with sweets. Hey, Kate is here because you're relating to what you've said about eating well all day and battling nighttime. And of course, my girls, Candace and Lauren, my business besties, are here to support me. So thank you, girls. But this is a hot topic. And back in December, some of you might remember that I sent a survey out to my email list. And in that survey, it was really to gauge, like, what kind of stuff do you guys want from me? And hands down, the number one thing that people wanted more content around was mindless eating or tips for mindful eating, right? So that was just one thing. And as you can see, so many of you guys can relate to this. And then in my free Facebook community, which again, many of you are a part of, the Legit Fit Lifestyle Lounge, I've started requiring people upon entry into that group to answer 3 questions. And one of them is, what's your biggest struggle around your health and your fitness? And the most common response that I get is, only I could get a better handle on my snacking. Guys, just go ahead and make sure, first of all, that you are all muted. Hearing some background noise. So if you joined, let me just, yeah, if you guys could just mute. All right. So again, going back to that question about my Facebook group, what is the biggest struggle? It's like, only if I could get a better handle on my snacking. A lot of people are coming to me, you know, pretty active already, enjoying their workouts already, and feeling like they're crushing it in the gym. But if only they could get a better handle on their nutrition, they feel like it would kind of all come together. And then when I have my private clients who apply to work with me in a coaching capacity, one of the questions I ask is, okay, well, what is one of the biggest obstacles that is getting in your way of your health and fitness success? And in those coaching applications, it's that my all or nothing mindset is what holds me back the most. So clearly you guys can see here and agree that these things are very serious for people. These are serious struggles. This isn't just something I am like making up and just throwing at you because. And I felt like there was so much that we could get into tonight around any of these 3 topics. But when it came down to it here, I really wanted to be able to find one thing that could kind of cover all of it and just give you a little taste and really dive in, and that was cravings. Because I think when it comes to cravings, that is, something, the common denominator that has to do with all three of these: the mindless eating, the snacking, and that perfectionist mindset. You guys see this little scribble on my screen? I have no idea what that is. We'll just pretend that's not there. All right, so tonight we are going to identify exactly where your cravings are coming from. And I'm going to get into 6. We're going to talk about 6 common culprits. And the reason that I'm going to give you guys this is so that you can better understand the cravings, and then you can pinpoint really how they're getting in the way of your fitness goals. And then once you understand them, you will learn that having hunger or having cravings doesn't make you a failure. I think a lot of people beat themselves up, and hands up if you guys can relate to that. You feel like, oh, I'm hungry, I'm snacking, what is wrong with me, right? You have that kind of mindset. But instead, I really want to encourage you guys to learn how to view these signs as just that, signals from your body, clues about what is your next best step. And then once we get through those culprits, we're going to really talk about willpower, and we're going to discover why resolving to have more of it is not an effective nutrition strategy by any means. And you'll learn what you can do instead that is hands down a better way. That's going to get you way more results than you're seeing right now. That might be the thing that's keeping you stuck. Throughout the session, I'm going to be sharing with you real life client examples, because it's, one thing to hear me talk about it, but I think it's really important to learn some of the changes that my clients have made to feel more in control around their food, to see that it is possible. And because, part of my message and my mission is that we got to break free from like what works for one person works for someone else. So if I just was up here talking about what necessarily works for me, like that defeats the whole purpose. I want you to hear this from several different people. And then at the end of the webinar, I'm going to give you guys an opportunity so you can learn how you can put this all into action right away, because I know you guys know how this goes. We hear all this information. We're like, yeah, and like, we're so psyched about it. And then we end up like not doing anything with it. So I always want to make sure my people have the next step and somewhere to go. Okay. You guys, does anybody know how to get rid of this little purple mark? What is it? What is that? I don't even know. Oh, well. So logistically, I want to, again, invite you to stay on until the end. Not only are we going to get through everything, you'll hear all the important information, but at the end, along with the opportunity, I'm going to be also giving away some bonuses. And if you want to just make sure to minimize distractions, like I said, you are all here giving me your time. You're all busy, so put your phones away, maybe put some other close some other tabs, tell the kids that mom is busy, and just try and be as present as possible. And as we go through, really try and think about how you might be able to implement some of this stuff in your own life, okay? So I see a lot of you have, a lot of faces on here, rather, are familiar to me, but I do have some names on here who are new. So for those of you who I might not know yet, again, my name is Athena Concannon, and I am the owner and founder of Achieve with Athena. But I live in Northern Mass, a little more north of Boston. I moved here last year with my husband. You can see Tim right on that screen in the house we bought a little over a year ago now. I'm a group fitness instructor, so that is what I do part-time. I teach and train at Fit Revolution, and I know some of you on right now go to Fit Rev, so little shout out to you guys. And then here's me in my kitchen with my coffee. I'm a big coffee drinker. I love food, and I love all things food festivals and trying new restaurants and trying new recipes and going to farmers markets. And that wasn't always the case. Food used to really be something that stressed me out, and I would panic over and feel like stress about. And now it is just really a much more enjoyable way of life. to feel like food is really something that brings me a lot of enjoyment and is something that I really love. Outside of food, I really love to spend some time outside, which is hard right now in Boston with this lovely weather we're having, right? But I love going for walks, hikes, kayaking, beach time, anything on the water is always awesome. In terms of what I do, so I own my online business, Achieve with Athena, and I started this in 2016, which I can't even believe, but this was after I left my 9-to-5 corporate job. So I started my online business after working in the corporate world for about 8 years. And I held a few different positions at this one company that I worked at, most recent of which was corporate wellness coordinator. And, my job was great. I was able to plan a lot of events. I was coordinating health and fitness opportunities for staff. But what was missing for me personally was that connection with clients from a coaching capacity. That is truly where my strength is and where my passion is, where my heart is. I really love helping women dive into their lives and figuring out what is going to work for them with their unique personalities and preferences and circumstances and past experience and all of that. And I just couldn't do that at that job. So I really wanted to spread my message beyond the walls of that company and work with women, again, in more of that coaching capacity. So here we are. These days, I help busy and time-strapped women from all over the world. And I can say all over the world, you guys. I have 2 clients in Dubai. So I can officially call myself an international fitness coach. But I really help women ditch the perfectionism that is holding them back, that is keeping them stuck in that all or nothing mindset, that's keeping them feeling like they can't move forward with their health and fitness. I really help my clients ditch dieting, quiet the noise that's out there because of diet culture and the diet industry and all of that. I help women build confidence in and out of the gym and step into their most empowered selves. And at the end of the day, my mission is really for women to feel like they are enjoying and loving their fit lives, because fitness and nutrition, you guys, is something that is meant to enhance our lives, right? Not stress us out even more. And so if I can help my girls feel that way, at the end of the day, my mission has been accomplished. Here are some of my clients. This was us at a little local meetup that I actually held at FitRev a few weeks ago. Did a little class for them. But again, these are all women who are actively working on their journey toward becoming their best selves, their most empowered selves, and finding a way to live where food isn't stressing them out all day, or their hunger doesn't stress them out all day. I help my clients through my signature programs, both private and group. And I think hands down, again, is just figuring out a unique path. What works for one person is not going to work for someone else. The cookie cutter solutions out there, they don't work because we are not cookie cutters. We all are so different. And so these women, they go from saying like, okay, what's the best food to eat? What is the best workout to do? To saying, okay, what is the best food for me to eat today, given what I've eaten already, or given what's coming up, or what's the best workout for me to do today based on how I'm feeling, based on what's already gone on this week, based on what my goals are, not Sally over in sales or whatever. So I really think that that is hands down something that helps so many of my clients, is just figuring out like, okay, and realizing the customized approach is what you need to get to a place where, again, fitness and nutrition are enhancing your life and not stressing you out. So once that is realized, the fat loss comes, or the physique change that you're looking for. It doesn't always have to be fat loss, right? That comes. The energy and the confidence, that comes. But you need to be willing to look at your own body and what's going on. So that is my goal for you tonight, is to help you feel a little bit more empowered too, and to get you looking at your own day-to-day in a little more of a customized way. And since we're talking about cravings and hunger and food, I really want to give you that empowered feeling around it instead of frustration, because food, it is fuel, but it's not only fuel. Food is meant to give us nourishment. Food is meant to be enjoyed. Like I said, like, you don't want to be going out to eat with friends and feeling stressed. You don't want to have to like skip out on trying a farmer's market because you're like nervous about what's going to be there, right? So if we, again, go back to those three things that I'm hearing all the time: mindless eating, snacking, the perfectionist mindset. Again, we might feel like we're doing everything right. We're doing all the right things, and then we're still feeling hungry. So if you understand this a little bit more about yourself and where the cravings are coming from, you're automatically feeling more empowered about it. The goal here tonight, you guys, is not to tell you how to eliminate cravings or your hunger altogether. If you're here for that, sorry. We're human, so we're going to get them. The goal is to have you look at them in a much more empowered way so that you know exactly what to do. Okay, so cravings in and of themselves are like an intense or an urgent, a powerful desire for something. That definition is straight out of the dictionary. As it relates to food, you might relate to having that like intense craving for chocolate or sweets. For some of us, it might be carbs or comfort foods, right? So maybe you can relate to that. And you might be feeling like it's almost uncontrollable, or that it's really frustrating, or that it's out of your control. You know, I shared my own story on social media and my email this week about how I used to meal prep for my 9-to-5 job back when I was working full time, and I would like do all the meal prep. I would pack all my Tupperware containers. It like gives me agita thinking about now how much I had to rely on that meal prep. But I would be eating all these things that I thought were healthy. They were healthy. None of the stuff was like inherently unhealthy, but it just wasn't working for me. So, you know, a yogurt or an oatmeal or something like that might work for someone, but it wasn't working for me. And so, you know, I was wondering, like, beating my head against the wall, why am I hungry all the time? I'm eating all the right things. In reality, I just needed to look at what I was doing, what I was eating, how I was feeling as a signal, as a clue about what else was going on. This is where the empowered approach to this is getting excited to be our own body's detective. And when we do this, we have to do this in a non-judgmental way, first of all. We have to do it in, like, kind of look at it a little clinically. And it's more like, have we eaten enough? Have we eaten something that did not go well with our own blood sugar? Are we deficient in something? And when we kind of take that step back and look at it more clinically, it becomes something that we are able to then better navigate. So it's only by understanding them, it's how we can make cravings and hunger less intimidating, and that we can actually conquer and manage them for the long haul. It's all about asking yourself, what's my body trying to tell me, and what's my next best step? My clients who are on right now, they're probably laughing or rolling their eyes, like, what's the next best step, right, ladies? So I don't know, you guys are rolling your eyes back there, but hands up. All right, you guys with me still? Hands up if you're with me. Are you guys ready for the culprits? Yes, okay, good. Candace is laughing at Sally. We always use Sally as our example, right? Okay. Culprit number 1. You are not eating enough, or you are eating the wrong things. So I see this a lot with my clients, especially when you're just starting out on a weight loss journey. Diet culture has taught us that we need to eat less. Less is better. Like, we have that automatic association. If we want to weigh less, we must eat less. And yes, we have to be in a calorie deficit. I don't want to discredit that. That is definitely a requirement for weight loss. However, if we are trying to restrict, there is such thing as eating too little, and then it doesn't happen. And then it messes us up hunger and craving wise. And that is where the part that people don't necessarily take into consideration as much is their hormonal balance. We want to have happy hormones in order to support our weight loss journeys, okay? So let's talk about some examples of eating too little. There's obviously eating too little volume overall. There's also eating, too little macros. So let's talk about protein and carbs and fat. 9 times out of 10, a client comes to me, they are not eating enough protein. And so that could be a reason, and you might think you are. You might think you're getting enough. Everyone does. I used to think that the protein that I was getting from my yogurt in the morning and my salad at lunch, which I should have had a little Tupperware out for effect, darn it. But I used to bring this Tupperware that was like a square for my salad. No wonder I was hungry all the time. It had this much protein in it. So you might think yes, you are eating protein, but is it enough? So again, 9 times out of 10, a client is not getting enough protein. And that is something that I will help them figure out, how much protein is the best for them. Okay. Again, different for everyone. Going back up for a second to that too little volume overall, maybe even if it's a plate that looks, say for breakfast, like scrambled eggs, like a couple dinky eggs and a little bit of wilted spinach, you guys can probably picture what this plate might look like, right? That is nothing wrong with it, but it might not be filling you up. So we really need to look at that kind of stuff. Going back to macronutrients, when we're talking about protein and carbs and fat, if we are in that mentality of eating less or of diet culture, you're going to fall into probably the trap of thinking that you need to be as low carb as possible. And we fear fat, right? And so you might not be actually getting enough of those things. And that's where your body might be actually signaling you, and your brain might be like, hello, I need some fat. I need some carbs to function. But we all think that those are bad things. Eating too little also might be a sign that you're low on other certain nutrients, maybe vitamins or minerals. Maybe if you're finding that you're craving a burger, for example, maybe you just need some iron. Candace, right? The meat, where's the meat? And if you're a vegetarian, you don't have to eat meat, but there's plenty of other options where you can look for foods that are high in iron. Or, maybe you have a vitamin B12 deficiency or something like that. Our cravings, you guys, are information. And so you see, when you start taking that approach, you can kind of look at that from a little bit more of that clinical perspective. You also might not be necessarily eating too little, but you might not be drinking enough water. And so that could be a reason that you are feeling hungry all day, is if you aren't staying properly hydrated. If you're waking up and having water first thing in the morning, you are going to feel the difference all day long, versus if you're jumping either right to your coffee or tea, or if you are maybe not drinking anything until you get to work. You're going to feel more hungry than if you had your water first thing. I put faux foods on here as part of the eating too little category, or eating maybe not the right things. And an example of this is your body might be craving, say, a cookie, and you might be, first of all, eating everything but the cookie, right? Because you think the cookie's bad. Then we end up eating all these other things that, if we just ate the cookie, would just be getting that over with, right? But you might be trying to eat the fake version of something. And I used to be the queen of making all of the healthified desserts. If you go back on my blog, and don't get me wrong, I still like to bake, and I use almond flour and all that stuff. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're having a craving for the real thing, I'm sorry, but like a chickpea brownie is not going to cut it. And so what's going to happen is you're going to end up eating like 12 chickpea brownies instead of just one. So that's kind of one example I'll put up there on faux foods. But like going back to some of my old blog posts from back in the day, which, you know, shows my authentic journey, you guys. I'm very transparent with you. But I'll be like, look at this healthy thing that I brought to the Super Bowl or whatever. But like I ate all of those things at the Super Bowl instead of just one. Yeah, you guys are really resonating with the chickpea brownie. So I have a great chickpea brownie recipe, but if I want the real thing, I'm going to go for the real thing. Moving on, the last thing on this page, heck is not in check. And this is a little motto that I've gotten from Metabolic Effect. I did not make this up. And it goes more along the lines of happy hormones. Okay, so yes, you might be in your calorie deficit, but you need to also be eating in a way where your heck, your hunger, your energy, and your cravings is in check. Okay, and that means that you are feeling full all day long. You know, until you actually feel physical hunger. Okay, there's a difference between hunger and cravings. You are eating in a way that sustains your energy so that you can be focused, so that you can be productive. You're eating in a way that is not setting you up to overeat later. And that's where it gets really unique depending on each of our individual metabolic makeups. That is where in the morning, I'll go back to breakfast as an example. A bowl of oatmeal might satisfy you for 4 hours. If I have a bowl of oatmeal in the morning, I want sugar about an hour later, and then an hour later, and then an hour later, and then an hour later. Okay, so it just really depends, and it takes some practice and strategies and really diving in and paying close attention to really get to know yourself on that. Okay, so that's what I mean about maybe eating the wrong foods. By wrong foods, I don't mean like the candy and all of that. The wrong foods are the ones that don't set you up for success, okay? Culprit number 2, you're trying to eat too perfectly. So this kind of goes with number 1, with you're not eating enough, but you might be trying to white knuckle through the week. And if you are identifying with that perfectionist all or nothing mindset, maybe some of you type A's who are on tonight with me, you might really be resonating with this slide. So again, we might be we have it ingrained from society that carbs are the devil, carbs are going to make us fat. We feel like fat is the devil. Like no matter what, there's something that's telling us sugar is bad for us, this, that, and the other thing. No food group or food is inherently bad for us, okay? Too much of any certain food group is what's bad for us. But if we try and restrict and white knuckle through the week, we don't have any wiggle room at all for treats, we're going to end up always eating that thing, and probably in more excess than we would have liked to in the first place. Okay, so I really don't want you guys I don't want the takeaway to be like, oh, I can go eat whatever I want right now. You can, but in order to eat for your goals, you have to eat that in the right amounts. Okay, so I do want to make sure we're making that clear. And moderation in and of itself, that's a whole nother topic, not necessarily for tonight, but that doesn't look like, oh, moderation, I'm eating like 5 cookies a day. Moderation is like, okay, when does it make sense for me to have maybe, 1 or 2 cookies this week, right? So again, white knuckling through the week, that could be day to day. If you're eating too perfectly throughout the day, that could be why you are the snack monster at night. This could be you are not giving yourself any wiggle room Monday through Thursday, and then come Friday and through Sunday, you're kind of going off the rails, and then that, what cycle that sets up for Monday morning. Or it even could be longer than that. Like maybe for you, you feel like you are in that perpetual, like, I do so well for 3 to 4 weeks, maybe, like we're at January 24th in the new year. Like maybe some of you are at that point where you're like, oh, here we go again, another year where it's like 3 to 4 weeks in, or another month, 3 to 4 weeks in. And I feel like I can't do this anymore. It's not sustainable. So that definitely can add to our cravings. And this is kind of what I call the don't look mentality. If you tell a child or anyone, you tell someone, don't look over there, like, where are you looking? You're looking over there. If you say, don't do this to a kid, they are going to want to do it. If you tell yourself, don't eat the chips, like, all you're going to be thinking about is the chips because you've put them in this off limits category, right? And so this is what happens on Sunday evenings. We'll use that weekend example again. If you have been, making things off limits all week, you eat on the weekend, and now you're feeling like, oh, it's going to be off limits again come Monday morning. What are you going to do? You're going to eat all the things Sunday night, but you're fearing deprivation in the morning. You're fearing that it's going to be off limits again. So the brain is like, got to get it in now, and that you might have that craving for that thing that you fear is going to be in scarce supply the next day. Does this make sense, you guys? Hands up if you guys are with me. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Kate, 100% to fearing deprivation. Yeah. It really helps to just trust that we are not going to be deprived. We can get food whenever we want it. If we want a cookie, can go get that at any point. So that is really where I think if we fear that we're not going to be able to have it, we automatically crave more of it. All right. Good. Glad this is making sense, you guys. And this is something, again, that it takes a lot of practice and time to figure out. I was just having this conversation with one of my clients the other day. She was out at a party, and she was so psyched to report back that she just had one buffalo chicken wing or whatever it ended up being. I forget exactly what it was, something buffalo chicken. And she was saying, like, before the strategies that we had implemented for her, she would have felt like if she had one buffalo chicken wing, then she would have had to have the rest every time that they passed the tray by. But she had one, she had her fix, and that was it. No cravings after that, right? All right, moving on. Craving culprit number 3. This is the one that I teased you guys today and said that you might have some aha moments around and that you might really love this one, because I think that a lot of people don't think about this. You have created a habit around your food. We're not even aware of it. And again, awareness is so important when it comes to mastering this stuff for the long haul. So with this, maybe you are not even hungry at all, but it's your routine to eat. So what might that look like? It's your routine to eat lunch at 12 noon. This is where I say people are eating based on the time, not based on their hunger. You might not even actually be hungry until 3 p.m. You can have lunch at 3. Like, maybe you go sit with your coworkers and you don't eat. Is that an option? Maybe. If you are programmed to have your afternoon snack at 3 p.m., is that because you're hungry, or is it because you're going to the break room every day to the vending machine, right? I put some other examples on here, doing homework or a project. This is actually one of my examples. I was finding that every time I sat down, and this is pretty recently, I was finding that every time I sat down to do something that I would consider kind of like a bigger project in my business, like webinar slides, or something that required like a lot of creativity, I would be like, I would sit down with some food, like almost to like help me, like I deserved it. I'm going to do something hard, so I deserve this food. But I realized that was more of a habit, and I actually wasn't hungry when I was taking that. I'm getting a comment about, yes, like as humans, we thrive with routines. We absolutely do. So this makes so much sense. Our bodies aren't machines. Sometimes we aren't hungry when we think we're supposed to be. Totally. This comes up a lot with people watching TV, right? You've created a habit. You eat your dinner, you go to the couch, and before you know it, you have a snack in your lap. Wine while cooking dinner. That is another big habit that I hear a lot. And even more like environmental habits. So maybe you're somebody who goes to the movies a lot. I had a client that I was working with this summer who just loved going to the movies. She went all the time. And, you know, the popcorn or whatever it would be that she would eat at the movies was more of a habit. She didn't actually want it that many times, but it was like what she did. Or another client of mine was realizing that on the way home from her drive, her commute home, she would be eating just because it was the drive home, wasn't actually hungry. So here's where I really think you guys might find that if you take a look, you might be able to identify some of these times in your day. And again, once we have these things as a habit, it's like the human brain doesn't want to change. We like Meg, I think that's you, just said, like, we thrive on routine. And so when we try and change these things, the brain is like, no, it's like trying to keep us safe, right? Because it thinks that we're going to be missing out on something, or it thinks that, you know, it's going to be a really hard thing, or it puts us into fear of what will happen if we change. Like, this could be a whole nother topic actually, but this is why this one is so incredibly difficult for a lot of people. Maria, I see you saying you do enjoy a good piece of chocolate or a glass of wine once in a while, and that helps you not overdo it. Perfect. That is exactly how to navigate. All right, guys, question about your habits. Anyone have an aha habit that they can think of that they want to share? I know it's a personal topic, so people don't like to share. If you do, you can throw it into the comments. Craving culprit number 4. So this one might not be as aha, but it is really, really important to address. So you are lacking on sleep. So again, this one might not be a shock, but if you are running on empty and you are overtired, what is happening is your hunger hormone is going up, and right, fullness hormone going down. And so your body is going to be looking for this kind of quick fix or a quick burst of energy so that you won't be as tired, so that you won't be as lethargic, so that you can get through the day. Cindy is saying, I used to stop for a treat at Dunkin's on the way home to reward myself. Yeah, reward. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Annie, looks like you have the same sort of reward mindset there, pastry and latte when I have to work on Saturdays. Yeah. So again, those are habits, but there's also a little reward mindset going on there, right? So with back to sleep, you know, we're looking for those quick energy boosting things or whatever's going to bring us comfort because we're like cranky and we just want something that's going to comfort us. That might look a little different to everybody. So some people might crave sugar, like candy, pastries. Other people might crave more of that carby comfort, maybe like mac and cheese or just bread. Some prefer more crunchy, like chips or crackers, pretzels, that kind of stuff. Maybe a little of everything, who knows? But sleep is so important, you guys, especially in the fat loss hierarchy. And this is really where, you know, it's very telling. Like when you're on a fat loss journey, you can't just look at what you're eating. You can't just hope to crush your workouts and like hope that sticks. Everything is related. Your stress is related. Your mindset, of course, is always at the at the bottom of everything or the top of everything. It's the foundation for everything. And sleep, it's no different. If your sleep is off, everything is off. Your performance in the gym is off. You're hungry. Your mood is terrible. You're irritable toward everybody around you. So, you know, I really want to emphasize that if your goal is body change, like you can't just focus on some of those other areas, and sleep is so important. And this is how sleep in particular ties into your hunger and your craving levels throughout the day. So, you know, if you are low on sleep, like, again, this is another thing that I help my clients navigate, like what might work best for them in their schedule. I help my clients implement evening routines that work for them. And this evening routine is going to look very different for somebody that has a 10-month-old at home versus somebody who is 60 and has all of their kids out of the house. So this is why that customized approach is so important. Okay. That is number 4. We've got 2 culprits to go. My mom is chiming in, can't get through CVS without adding a reward bag of butterscotch candies. Yeah, seems like reward is a hot topic with you guys. So again, let's talk about that. So craving culprit number 5 is you're having all the emotions. We're all guilty of this. Hands up if you have ever eaten out of emotion, right? Everyone's hands should be going up because we've all been there. I should see a lot of yeses. Yeah, here we go. You guys know the drill. Like, we're stressed and we eat. We're overwhelmed and we eat. We are feeling sad and we eat. Anxious, eat. Angry, eat. Our default is to reach to food. And, it makes sense because in those scenarios, those are some uncomfortable emotions. So we're looking for comfort when we're feeling those things, really, is what we're doing. And food provides that comfort, but it provides it for about 2 minutes, if that. It provides that comfort for a very short-term amount of time. Maria, it's okay. That's all right. Maria added the purple squiggle. That's okay. I forgive you. It's funny, and it fits perfectly with our anti-perfect theme for tonight. Okay, so, going back to the emotions, you're looking for that quick kind of comfort fix. But what happens when you turn to, say, the chocolate for that comfort? You eat the chocolate, you feel better for about 1 minute, and then whatever was going on before you ate that chocolate is still going on. And so now not only are you, say, still sad, but now you have a side of guilt and regret and probably a stomach ache that you really don't get any comfort from it. It actually makes you more uncomfortable. So let me show you on this slide. I came up with a list, and I'm sure I could come up with some more, of possible emotions or reasons that are not hunger for why people might reach for food and what might be causing a craving. Because it's really easy to mix up your hunger with this emotion. Okay, your emotion is causing you to just have that urge to go for the food. So here's where getting to know your body and being able to say, okay, is it because of what I ate earlier that set me up not so much for success, or is it because I'm feeling something? That kind of thing. Okay, so at the top, I said these ones already: stressed, overwhelmed, anxious, sad, angry. Those are more like, I guess, I don't want to call them negative emotions because we all can feel those things, but those are where we don't feel so great. Boredom is a huge one. We eat when we're bored. It's like, what else is there to do? So maybe we need to find some new things to do when we're bored. But we might be like, oh, I'm bored. I'm craving something because it just gives us something to do. Or maybe when we're lonely. And that was another example I wanted to share with you guys, the lonely one, that was more relevant to me recently, or a more recent discovery. And because I was finding that along with I deserve something when I'm going to sit down and work on something, I was finding that on the weeks that my husband was traveling for work, I would end up eating more mindlessly, or I think I was having more cravings than on the weeks that he was here. So that one I really only recently discovered. So this, you see, you guys, this is an ongoing journey. You're always learning new things about yourself and your habits. It's never just, again, one and done. And that's why it's really important. The goal is never to eliminate altogether. It's just to decrease the frequency in which they happen and give you more awareness and the right tools for when they do. I put uncreative on there. And you guys, eating out of emotional eating can also be positive emotions, such as feeling happy or feeling relaxed. And, maybe it's more like, oh, I did this awesome thing and I'm going to go out and celebrate, which you absolutely should. And yes, can a glass of wine be a part of a celebration? Sure. Not gonna, of course it can be, but maybe do you need to have 4 glasses of wine because you got a promotion at work? Probably not. So really learning how to kind of separate these things. I put in FOMO, which stands for fear of missing out. This is more of a social setting craving. Like you see somebody else eating nachos and you're like, I want the nachos, because you have that fear of missing out. Kind of goes with what we were talking about before, fear of deprivation, or something being off limits. The obligation, that kind of goes with the same sort of peer pressure, and then feeling deserving. So that really speaks to the reward mentality that a lot of you just talked about. And I shared this example too the other day on social media. It was one of my favorite coaching moments, actually. And it was in my small group program, Wellness Your Way. The very first time I launched it, it was back in 2017. It was a snow day. And that particular day, almost every woman in the program came into our private Facebook group and shared how it was a pivotal day for them, because they felt that in past years, a snow day to them would have meant skipping their workout, comfort food, that they deserved something like a treat because they were hunkered down, and you have special food when you're hunkered down. Like it was that reward of that deserving mindset. Like, oh, I'm on this snow day, or I'm on vacation, could be another one, right? And they all kind of shared about how the strategies that we had learned in that program really helped them on that day to make a decision that let them treat that day as a regular day. And then that phrase, regular day, became a little catchphrase and a little reminder, something that really helps my clients with consistency, and not, feeling like they had to eat these things on special days, because they're regular days, just like anything else. So again, that could be another like circumstantial thing. You guys shared those examples before. You're deserving of the donut because you have to go to work. You're deserving of whatever it was on the way home. So that's where you guys might see how these tie into emotion. It ties into the habit around it, and it ties into the perfectionist mindset around it. You see how it's all connected? Yeah. Yep. Hands are going up. Awesome. All right. Last one, you guys. Craving culprit number 6 is that your exercise is causing you more harm than good. So this one is more on the fitness side of things. And what I mean by this is that we each all have a minimum dose, a minimum effective dose, is what I want to call it, okay, of cardio and of strength training. I don't want to hate on cardio. We all have a minimum effective dose that is going to get us the body change or the results that we want without sending our hormones out of whack. So let's go back to happy hormones for a minute. It's not just about calories. If you are doing cardio up the wazoo, you're doing spin 6 days a week, you're doing running all the time, you're doing double classes, if you're doing 90-minute strength sessions, that kind of thing, that is stress on your body. And our bodies don't differentiate types of stress. So that's just another little tidbit, and that's a whole nother webinar too. But when you have this added stress on the body, your cortisol levels are going to be elevated, okay? And then that's going to cause your appetite to be totally out of control. And maybe some of you can relate to, maybe you've upped the intensity a little bit on your workouts and you feel like you're a little hungrier. You might notice that. So it's about how to navigate that, but it shouldn't be to the point where your workouts are causing more harm than good. Okay? Annie's saying this one is definitely not my problem. That's okay. It might be someone else's. That's okay if it's not yours. But your workouts might be causing you more harm than good. And so if you're somebody that's doing 5 to 6 like high intensity workouts a week, maybe, and your appetite's out of control, maybe for you, could it be 3 to 4 workouts a week that are more high intensity with other days of more restorative? Nina's saying this may be one of my issues. Yeah, it might be. And this is coming straight from a former cardio queen. A lot of you know my story that I used to do cardio up the wazoo, 2-a-day Tuesday. I would like get up and lift in the morning, and after work I'd go back for a spin class and this, that, the other thing. I would take all the group exercise classes, and it really was not good for me. I was always hungry, always eating. And the cycle of that is you're doing more workouts, you're hungrier, appetite is up, then you're eating, munching, snacking, cravings, all of that. And then you're like, I got to go exercise. And it becomes this cycle that is really hard to break out of. Yeah, Kate is saying that this was an issue. You gained weight during marathon training 10 years ago because you would then munch all day long. Yeah, and that's very common, very common. Okay. So something I help my clients do is figure out what their minimum effective dose of cardio is that's still going to get them the results that they want, and that's going to let them still do activities that they love. Because that, at the end of the day, on the fitness side of things, I know we're getting a little off topic, but that at the end of the day is going to be what helps with compliance with your workouts. But, maybe it's just shifting things so it's a couple more strength training workouts where we go lift the things, right, Candace? And you're getting that weight training in, and you can still do your favorite spin classes, but maybe that's 2 times a week instead of 5. Okay. So it's really about shifting things for you. And again, I am a group fitness instructor. I teach these high intensity classes. I know I have a lot of FitRev people on here tonight, but the classes are awesome. Classes keep you accountable, but that can be one of the downsides to them. It's as simple as that, okay? All right, you guys, I want to pause and make sure, first of all, you're all still with me. And then second of all, anybody have any aha moments so far? I'm going to get a drink of water. So I really want you guys to try and see how just being more aware in general, right, can make you feel more in control, and it can make you feel more empowered. I always say we want to be empowered eaters. We want to be eating in an empowered way where we are in control, where we know exactly what's going on, so that instead of feeling things like guilt, things like shame, things like beating ourselves up, feeling stuck, like, why am I hungry? Why am I hungry? Why am I hungry? Like I said, you can go in and pinpoint what's happening or what has happened, and then you make your next best decision. What did I eat? Was it enough? Why do I want this next thing? Is that going to, send my blood sugar up the wazoo? All of those types of questions can really help you be an empowered eater. But what people actually think that they need to do, what people think they need to do is try again tomorrow. How many times have you guys said that? I'm just going to try again tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be the day that I get it. And then you do the same thing. How's tomorrow going to be the day if you do the same thing over and over? That there's a definition for that. It's called insanity. Start over on Monday. I laugh about these things, guys, because I've been there too. And it shouldn't be so serious, but a lot of us really do struggle with it. So I'm not trying to laugh at it, but we all say it. We say, try again tomorrow. We're going to start over on Monday. We're going to try harder. What does that mean? What does try harder actually mean? You're already trying really hard and it's not working. It's not sticking. So try harder just means maybe you need to try smarter or try something new. Do better, same thing. Be more disciplined. I can't even. Push past boredom. This is more like people who are trying to restrict and eat all of the diet culture things like egg whites and this. No, you can have some real eggs. Just follow the plan, or you can have some salads that don't suck, right? Just follow the plan. Maybe it's try a new plan. Maybe you're a plan or a program hopper or a program jumper, and it doesn't work. And now we're off for the next best thing and hoping that it sticks. And then it doesn't again. Cindy's saying emotions play into this so much more than you ever thought of before. Yeah. I'm so glad you had that aha moment. It's so true. What we think we need to do is swear off the foods. And then what does that do though? It sends us back into that same cycle. We swear it off. We're restricting, cravings, eat, guilt, start over. again, we say we need to just have more motivation. I need to be more motivated. I need to have more willpower. And this is where I really want to get into that willpower myth, you guys. So I hear it all the time. If I could just have more willpower around whatever it might be, chocolate, treats, sweets, chips, then I would be okay. And I shared with you that picture at the beginning. Maybe you remember me holding my chocolate bucket. It's actually right here. I'm going to show it to you guys for proof. Coming back with it. This is my chocolate bucket. It is filled to the top. And most of these things are from the holidays. That was weeks ago. These are in my home. I have not binged on them, and I'll eat them when I want them. But a lot of people will say, I don't have the willpower to have that kind of stuff in my house. I don't trust myself around food. Or when they are having those days where they're feeling like they just ate, didn't have that control, I just need to have more willpower. Willpower does not exist in infinite amounts. This is not an effective nutrition strategy, okay? I say this a lot about motivation in terms of workouts. Like, motivation doesn't exist in infinite amounts either. We can't rely on motivation as a tool. We need to rely on something besides just how we feel, because we're not always going to feel like getting it done. And the same kind of thing with willpower. We're not always going to feel like making the choice that is going to align with our goals. Willpower can be drained by other things: sleep, stress, a bad day that sends you into CVS feeling like you deserve the butterscotch, right? So the willpower, it's not something that we can just rely on. I feel like willpower is like that flaky friend that is like always saying they want to get together and then they bail on you. Willpower bails on us. It also perpetuates this good versus bad food mentality, where if we feel like we need willpower to refrain and restrict ourselves, we're automatically putting that food into this negative, bad food category, which makes us feel like it should be off limits. Again, it perpetuates that cycle. And willpower also puts you at the mercy of your environment. Like, you just have to hope that nobody brings in sweets to work. And that is no way to go through life. Okay, what you need instead of willpower, again, is to be able to look at things objectively. And here's another phrase that is from Metabolic Effect. You don't need willpower, you need skill power. And the skills are awareness and then your customized strategies that work for you, okay? And with that customized strategy, again, you cannot be following someone else's rules. I don't care what's worked for your cousin. We'll bring Sally back. I don't care what's working for Sally next door. I don't care what Kim Kardashian is doing, or your favorite celebrity, or that person you just read about arbitrarily in a magazine. They're not you. They don't have your past history. They don't have your current circumstances. They are not motivated by the same things you are. They don't have the same strengths that you do. They don't have the same obstacles you do. They don't have the same metabolism that you do. So you see where when we go into that cycle of like, I just need to do better, or I just need a new plan, or I'm going to just try this cookie cutter approach, again, it doesn't work. What works is having the awareness and having that customized strategy for you for your next best step based on what's going on with all those signs that we just went through, okay? I want to share with you, like I said, a couple of client examples. This is my client, Jen. I think she was on before. Since working with Athena, my relationship with food has changed overall despite thinking I knew what was best. We always think we know. I had Jen do some short-term food logs. I'm not a big long-term tracker, but I think short-term food logs can do wonders for identifying patterns and really giving us the full big picture. She quickly realized that she wasn't eating the right foods to keep her full. She also wasn't eating enough in general. We upped her veggies. We added a better balance of fats and carbs to keep her hunger, energy, and cravings at heck in check. And when Jen came to me, she was eating like every 90 minutes. like very small things, snacks, little munchies all day. So when we figured out the balance that worked for her, she then found energy and fullness for hours and no longer feels the need to snack constantly. And she's also lost 15 pounds, just to throw that in there as well, okay? This is my client, Sharon. This is the client that I gave the example of the buffalo chicken at the party the other night. She started coaching with me in December. Since then, she has had a sunnier outlook because she's been trying to reframe her thoughts, words, and actions in some of the ways we talked about tonight. At this party, she got dressed, finally felt good and confident in how she looked, and was excited to socialize after work. This was a text that she sent me that day. She's saying, without depriving myself and from learning new approaches to food, she has made steady progress over the last 6 weeks. She is now able to stop at just 1 or 2 chocolates when she sees them in the office instead of needing to finish the whole bag. And then this is my favorite part. This is the first time ever that she's experienced this. No ups and downs, no starting and stopping, just moving forward. I am excited for this to be my phrase for the rest of the year. I am moving forward. And that is what we want. We want to just be moving forward on this journey for the sustainable solution that allows us to live and allows us to do this effortlessly and in an automated way where it's like, this is just who I am and this is just what I do. This is what I eat. This is how I know how to navigate, right? And I'll add about Sharon too. She lost 6 pounds and over the holidays. Can be done. So at this point, you guys, I really want to go back to what I said at the beginning. There is a big difference between just getting all this information and absorbing it and then like going back into your everyday life tomorrow. But this is another area where people get stuck. There's all this information and not enough implementation. We get the information, but then there's a big difference between knowing, now we know, and doing. There is a gap. And I really want to make sure, because it's one of my core values is to be a support for my girls. And I pride myself in being very reliable and dependable. And I feel like I would not be a very dependable or responsible coach if I just showed up tonight and gave you this information and then just said like, bye, good luck, have fun, implement. So that said, the doors are open. And I am looking to take on some go-getter, action-taking women who are ready to try a new approach so that they can really put this all into practice and have the support and guidance that's really necessary to be able to do this long-term. Okay, so again, I am looking for these women right now for my upcoming Wellness Your Way program. And I really want to just emphasize here support and guidance. There is nothing like having a coach in your corner to help you see the solutions that you don't see, to talk out the day with you and figure out your next best step. And I see a lot of people, turning to things like apps. Maybe, I'm just going to track my food in MyFitnessPal. Well, great. Enter your height and weight in your food. And then when you're still hungry at the end of the day, is that app going to help you figure out what's going on? Is that app going to know what stresses you out and what makes you turn to food? Is that app going to know what to say to you when you are waking up on Monday morning, beating yourself up to get you back on the right path again? No. So that's why I really wanted to underline here the support and guidance that's necessary for this to all really stick and be successful. So again, my Wellness Your Way group coaching program. This is not my private coaching. This is a small group coaching program. This is the program I referenced before when I was talking about the snow day. This is open for enrollment starting right now. You guys got the link. I hope it went through probably about, looking at the time, 5 minutes ago. You should have gotten this to your inbox. So it has all the information there. But we are going to kick off the group coaching program February 4th. We will have a week of onboarding and then we will dive right into our lessons. And this program is your 6 weeks. So after our onboarding week, you get 6 weeks, 6-week empowered eating solution for simplifying nutrition. Tonight was just like the tip of the iceberg, you guys. Mastering moderation. We didn't get in too much into moderation. We just touched upon it. And learning how to get the results that you want for your body and your mind because they are connected. Without all the rules and restriction, without that diet mentality, and without all of everybody else's noise and tactics thrown in our faces. Okay, so again, that is open. You'll get your onboarding week, program curriculum. We're going to talk a lot about habit change. Week 1, we're getting back to basics. During this week, I'm going to be giving more specifics on the types of foods that are going to set your blood sugar up for the most success, to feel that sustained energy during the day and to keep your cravings at bay. We're going to be brainstorming ideas for recipes and things that might work for you and your lifestyle. I'm not going to tell you to spend 2 hours in the kitchen prepping every night just to stay on track. I'm not. But we're going to really dive into some of those basics and really get re-grounded, recentered, forgetting the noise, basics work. Week 2, learning to listen to our bodies. You guys already have a leg up on that from hearing some of the craving stuff tonight, but we're going to get really into hunger, fullness, mindfulness, strategies on ways we can start recognizing those things in our bodies and differentiating from when it might be emotional versus when it's actual hunger, physical hunger. Week 3, moderation and how to do it, because we don't know how to do it. Society thinks that it's either like, oh, moderation, I'm eating whatever I want, and then you're still eating way too much and not changing. Or we think it's that Monday through Friday, eat perfect, weekend binge, that kind of thing. So we're going to learn exactly how to do moderation in a way that works for us. Eating out of routine and best options. Okay, so we're going to talk about the stuff where life trips us up. We go out to eat. We have a party, that kind of stuff. We're traveling. We are going to dive into specific menus and figure out what might be an option for you that would work for you at this particular restaurant, for example. Okay. Week 5, the relationship with sleep, stress, and exercise. We will dive in deeper than we did tonight. Mindset traps and hacks is how we're going to finish. So I purposely kind of set that up because week 6, right? That's when everybody wants to give up. So we're going to really dive into that mindset that week, talk about what is going to, trip people up, and then how we're not going to let that happen this time. So that's the mindset traps and hacks. And then I put on here also included is a sustainable exit strategy, because again, just like I'm not leaving you hanging here, you will not be left hanging at the end of 6 weeks. Okay. So we will figure out what's going to work best for you. Within the program, okay, you will receive, here are some of the more of the deliverables. You'll receive weekly email and video training lessons. This is going to dive in. It's going to give you all the information you need and really help you structure this in a way that makes sense and makes it feel doable for you. You will also have group Zoom workshops. So just like we're on tonight, except I'll put on all your pretty little faces so we can all see each other, but we will have those throughout the program to really facilitate a deeper learning, share with each other what's going on, and really dive into any particular struggles that you might have. And we're going to talk that out all on the call, like video conference call. Within the program, you also get workouts. So it's not just about, like I said, it can't be just about the food. So you will receive a 6-week fat loss friendly workout plan. This will be a combination of strength and cardio workouts in a way that you're not doing too much. And of course, I will be available to help you work your current workout situation, whatever that might be around these, okay? Those workouts are great because they are going to take all the guesswork out of what you have to do. They come with video tutorials, and you're going to love them. Customized nutrition guidance, that will all be given within a private Facebook group. So that is how group coaching works. We are going to be in a closed Facebook group. It's going to be an intimate community. I do not like group coaching programs where you just feel like a number and you get lost. I have been in there myself, and when I started my business, I made it part of my mission to never have a woman feel like that. You will have the access to me daily, and you will get any answer or any question that you have answered. You will be able to talk out any situation. And not only will you have access to me and feel like you really are getting that custom support, you will also have access to the other like-minded women who are going through similar things in the group to help with that camaraderie and that support. I'm still thinking back to that snow day example I gave of Wellness Your Way 2017 when everyone was like cheering each other on that day. Okay. We'll do weekly goal setting in the group. Again, unlimited accountability and support. And I'll be providing recipes and little pop-up challenges because we got to keep it fun. Otherwise, too serious. Okay. So as a bonus, here we are at our bonuses. As a thank you for being on tonight, I'm giving you the opportunity to reserve your spot early. Okay. And at a discounted rate. So like I said, I'm not going to be taking like hundreds of women into this program. If you want to reserve your spot early, you guys, for signing up and being on with me, have first dibs. Once I feel like the program's getting too full for my ideal liking, I'm capping it. Okay. So if you want in, get in. And I really want to encourage you to think about, like, if all this program did was help you stop feeling that hunger all day long, if all it did was help you get a hold on the cravings, if it helped you stop reaching for those snacks, if it helped you stop feeling like you need food as a reward, if it helped you break free from the all or nothing trap mindset that might be keeping you stuck, would it be worth it? If it would help you lose that last 10 pounds that you're looking to lose so that you can rock your skinny jeans and you can feel super confident when you're looking in the mirror, so that your partner can think like, oh my God, they are so hot, would that be worth it? And, hands up, would it be worth it to just have a sustainable solution so you don't have to look for another solution? Again, that allows you just to say, this is just what I do now. This is me. This is my legit fit lifestyle, right? Yeah. Glad to see those hands going up. In this program, in Wellness Your Way, again, you will transform your relationship with food, nighttime eating, treats without guilt, automating your eating so you don't have to think about it so much. You will come to peace with your body. You'll learn how to use your body as a tool for success, figure out how to listen to exactly what it's telling you, just like we talked about. In this program, you'll also overcome the comparison trap. That really can be a motivation killer, right? I named the program Wellness Your Way because it's your way. So it doesn't matter what someone else is doing. Okay. So really we're going to dive into that more, recognizing that you are an individual person with unique circumstances. Your path is different. You'll feel less overall frustration. You'll learn to navigate those life getting in the way days without throwing in the towel altogether, because if one thing goes off track, everything's off track, right? And then of course, when all of this aligns, fat burning, consistency in the gym, toning up, overall energy for your healthy and happy life, that follows. Okay, but all this stuff has to align first. It's all that mindset. You got to get the mind right and the rest will follow. So as a bonus, again, for being on the webinar, you can reserve your spot early. I'm also giving you $50 off. So the cost of the full program for not only just the 6 weeks of lessons, but that onboarding, the exit strategy, the full cost is $297. And tonight you can register for $247 for that $50 savings. Here's another client of mine, Siri. She joined Wellness Your Way in 2017, and she has worked with me ever since. And here's what she has to say. I have felt so much less stuck, not only in fitness and nutrition, but also in loving myself and celebrating what I can do. Huge. Us women don't do that enough. Working with her has shown me that it's the little changes and shifts in habits and beliefs that are where the magic happens. So Siri now celebrates her wins. She makes food choices that she enjoys and aligns with her goals. She's still going to craft breweries and doing what she loves to do. And what she really loved about Wellness Your Way was the group coaching aspect of the program and having awesome friends to celebrate alongside the whole way. And she really hit the nail on the head here, despite all being at different points in our journeys, because they really were. The women who joined when I launched this program last were at totally different starting points. They were all able to really lean on each other and learn throughout the whole thing. Okay. And Siri, girl's down like 45 pounds. Amazing. All right. Again, here's what you get. All the email, video training, Zoom, workouts, all the support and guidance. Tonight, your bonus is your ability to reserve the spot early and save. I'm also offering a special webinar only bonus. So for the first 5 women who join right from this webinar. Like you could go in and sign up now. Maybe you have, I don't even know. I sent you that link. You could go in and sign up now. If you are one of the first 5, you are going to receive a 45-minute jumpstart call with me at the onset of our program. And, you know, you might be thinking like, what can a single call do really? But it can do a lot. And Shanna is another one of my clients. She can really attest to the power of a one-on-one coaching call. You know, when she started working with me, she was feeling like she was in a negativity vortex, is what we call it. She was a regular gym rat, regular runner, but she had still put on weight, clothes didn't fit, and she had developed some eating habits that she wasn't feeling proud of. Something about my philosophy clicked with her, and we worked together to identify some issues that really needed to be addressed. And she was slowly and surely able to change those habits, lose weight, feel stronger. She lost 15 pounds and 2 jean sizes. And I use Shanna at this point in the webinar as an example because I will never forget, like one call, we identified 2 super, super simple food hacks that she could make to her meals, and the weight started coming off like that. And people think you need these huge overhauls. You don't. So that's why I put Shanna here, because the power of one call, it's real. So again, if you're one of those first 5 women, you will get everything we talked about: the curriculum, the Zoom group workshops, group calls, the workouts, the access, the strategy, the recipes, the discount, ability to reserve early, and you'll get that call. And you guys, I normally price my 45-minute jumpstart calls at $115. That is an a la carte cost. So this is like an incredible deal. You can save $50 and get started today. Here's my client, Audra. She's another Wellness Your Way graduate. She initially signed up because she was looking for a lasting long-term solution to consistently eat better and exercise more regularly. And before working with me, she was a classic Monday through Thursday healthy eater, right? Or exerciser. And once the weekends came, it was like out the wazoo, constant up and down battle, wasn't seeing the fitness results that she was looking for. So we really worked on mindset, figuring out why her goals were important, first of all, but some of the things that she wanted to say about Wellness Your Way: getting a handle on her stress eating, no longer using food as reward. She definitely was in that hard day at work, I deserve it mentality, both with food and wine. And to stop thinking about food as either good, allowed, or bad, not allowed. Now she focuses on fueling her body with what it needs and what makes her feel her best. And she has strategies that she goes to and doesn't even have to think about to make those decisions. Okay. Your third webinar bonus tonight, you guys. So this is for anybody who signs up by tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, I am sending the replay of this webinar and the link to Wellness Your Way out to my email list. So when that goes out, which is going to be around 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, anybody who has signed up before then is also going to receive a free gift in the mail from me. And it's going to be a little skincare packet, okay? So it's going to be a little moisturizer and a little cleanser. And some of you might have seen on social media this week or last week, I've been starting a new skincare routine, and my cousin is kindly giving us these products. So it's always fun to just get new stuff, right? Samples and things in the mail. And I really just love rewarding action-taking women. I don't love dealing with hemmers and horrors, like whatever you want to call them. I want you guys to really feel excited and like ready to take the reins on and be more empowered and do something different. Like I said, we could try harder or we can try smarter with a different approach. So again, if you join tonight as one of the first 5, you'll get that bonus call at the onset of our program, just one-on-one with me. And if you book by tomorrow morning, maybe you'll be one of the first 5 who gets the call and the skincare, but you can get the skincare samples, and then you're all getting that access or early access and $50 off. Lauren, thank you. Yeah, I think it's a steal too. Couple more clients to tell you about. My client, Catherine, she did Wellness Your Way again, 2017. Feels like she's moving in the right direction, making progress, toned, motivated. She lost some weight. And participating in this program really helped her be in touch with who she was before she had her children. She felt more like herself. She was remembering how much she used to enjoy healthy foods. She was tuning into her hunger cues. She was doing more cooking as a family. And, I love this part because the goal isn't perfection. Nighttime eating will always be a journey for me. I loved that she said that. That's a huge win to even just be able to recognize that. But she felt like after participating in Wellness Your Way, she was so much closer to having a better handle on it. She's more in the moment, more present. She's learning how to relax her type A personality. And she also loved the 20 to 30-minute workouts that allowed her to still get her workout in and fit in other daily tasks. Finally, my client, Joy, she told me that it was in the end me, not her doctor, which I just love, who was not able to figure out why her original approach to health and fitness had not been working. Joy came to me feeling so stuck, and I said, you know what, I'm launching this program. I think you should do it. And Joy was like, I don't know. She said that a lot. But she took that leap, even though she was unsure. She trusted it and she did the work. That's the other thing. You can't just show up and not do the work. You gotta put in that effort. But Joy put in the work, and she not only lost weight, but she felt like she had a lot more time. She was more energetic. She was showing up differently at work. She just got a huge job promotion. Like, it's no coincidence to me when my girls are able to have these huge, amazing, transformational life things happen after they invest in their health and wellness. She got stronger. She was no longer hungry all the time. And Joy was another client who ended up staying on with me afterwards. So she said that I took her success and celebrated them. They're hers too. They really are. I get so excited about my client wins. I'm always there in your corner to just help give a new suggestion. And I think, any one of my clients, here's Jen. Thank you, Jen. It's a great deal. Current client, highly recommend. My relationship with food has changed completely. I think anybody can really get that result. Joy says it's okay to admit when you need help, and it's great to use that to change your story. So, you guys, you do have two options at this point. I gave you all the information, and I'm giving you the opportunity to implement. So you can do nothing and change nothing, and you can stay in that cycle of you're in it, let's hope, let's try harder, do better, have more willpower, and good luck. I hate to say it, but good luck. You know how that's worked so far. You're here, right? Or you can grab this opportunity for the small investment compared to all the value that you are going to get in return, and you are going to up-level your life in so many ways as you finally find your lasting nutrition solution and the way of eating that works for you. Again, everything you get for the $247. So I'm here, you guys. I'm ready to help you create your personal blueprint for success. And the link, again, I emailed it to you guys. It is right here too. If you go to achievewithathena.com/wellness your way, you can get that there, but easiest to get it right in the email. If you want more info on the program, I also gave you the link right to the PayPal if you were ready to go. So at this point, any questions about Wellness Your Way or about, working with me in general, any questions that you have, anything from the webinar that came up, doesn't have to be about the program, put them in the chat box. Annie, I see that you're asking, do I have these groups regularly? I have a lot going on in February, and I'm not sure I will put 100% into it like I would want to. So a couple of things there. I don't offer Wellness Your Way regularly. The last time I offered it was winter 2017. So it's 2 years later. Or maybe it was winter 2018. I can't remember. But it was a year ago, at least a year ago, 2 years ago. So I don't offer this regularly. I definitely will not be offering it again until at least the fall, if that. That is still something I'm deciding. So it might be offered again in the fall, but I really honestly don't know. The other thing that I will say to this, and I'm going to say this with so much love, But as a coach, one of the things I do is tough love. Okay, so again, I'm saying this with so much self-compassion, but there's always going to be stuff going on. I know that you manage the flower shop for Valentine's Day. It's your busy season, but when better to kind of dive into these strategies than when you have a lot going on, right? That's when it's gonna be when you need to put them into practice the most. So that's kind of what I would say. And, if you're not sure if you will put 100% into it, I want people that are sure. Okay. So I think that you will, but you have to believe in yourself that you can do it first. So Annie, email me after and we can talk. I'm happy to even hop on a phone with any of you guys. Hop on the phone. We can get on a free call. I won't try and sell you on it. I'll just try and talk out the best decision for you. Okay. I promise you that. Annie, let me know if you have any more questions about that. Okay. Cindy, are the workouts able to be modified for any fitness level? Yes, they absolutely are. So with the workouts, you'll have the video tutorials. And if you need a modification for what I'm giving, I mean, I usually try in the like little document that you'll get with them to give some anyways, like take it down a notch by doing this, up a notch by doing this. But if anything needs to be customized, you would be able to have access to me in that Facebook group to just ask. You can be like, you know what, I am having trouble with push-ups because of this, that, and the other thing. What can I do instead? And I will give you that. Absolutely. Okay. The other thing with the workout question is that you always, as part of the Facebook group, could post your own form or video. Like you can post that in the group and get feedback too. Okay. Cindy, let me know if that answers your question. Cindy, maybe it's a silly question, but your nutrition guidance works for any dietary restrictions or preferences. Yes. So, I'm not giving you guys meal plans as part of this program. That I want to make very clear. I'm going to be giving general recommendations around, how much protein you should be aiming for, and then figuring out what is working for you. I'm not going to be saying you have to eat this thing that's made of this ingredient that you have a dietary restriction from. Does that make sense? And if you want to talk to me, Cindy, too, offline about this, we can definitely dive into your dietary restriction a little bit more. And I can always, figure out who I can maybe bring in and consult about that particular thing. Okay. Okay, good. I'm glad that answers it. Annie has another question. Are the workouts doable without a gym? Yes, they do require dumbbells. So if you are not at a gym, I would recommend that you get some dumbbells for home. But again, like anti-perfect, like if you don't have dumbbells, like let's just figure it out. Body weight, plenty of options. So I don't want gym membership or access to hold anybody back. Nina, do you recommend this if somebody is in my ETCC group? Great question. So ETCC is my membership club, and this is really going to depend person to person, Nina. Some people, yes, some people, no. It depends on how much of this is resonating with you. I can definitely think of some people from ETCC that this is going to give them more personalized attention and more structure for. Okay, so again, look at here. You guys are getting a taste of my coaching style automatically. It depends. It depends. So let's talk offline about that as well. I hope that helps. Any other questions, you guys, that are coming up? Super thirsty. I've been talking for so long. I know. Sorry we ran a little over tonight, but I had a feeling we had so much good stuff to dive into. All right. If you guys get off the webinar and you feel like, oh my gosh, I wish I asked this question, I'm very accessible. You have my email. Shoot me an email. If you are feeling like you want to, just move forward, don't wait. In my experience, the longer you wait on it, the less likely you're going to take that chance on yourself. Okay. All right, guys, I want to thank you so much for being here tonight. I really had a lot of fun talking with all of you about this. And regardless of whether you join the program or not, I wish you all the best in your health and fitness journey. And I hope that you will, keep in touch and, stay engaged in my social media communities and all of that. But of course, I hope to see your name on that sign up list by tomorrow at 10 a.m. so you can get those bonuses. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Have a great night. Bye.